Good morning, everyone. How are you? If you are new to Putnam Library Live, my name is Katie Smith. I'm a librarian here at the Putnam County Library, and I am bringing you Feel Good Friday at 10 a.m. every Friday in the month of September. And Feel Good Friday is going to help you focus on caring for yourself this month. So, as you know, we are in a world right now that is creating a lot of stress in a lot of different ways. And it's really important that you fill your cup up so that you can continue to be there for the people that you love, you support, and you care for. So this week we are focusing on journaling. And if you tune in with me today, and this will be up live later, if you need to go take care of something and come back, you can view it then. But we are going to be talking about, and you will learn what you need to start a journaling practice. I'm going to give you some different types of journaling. Some I have used personally, some that friends, family, people I know and love have used and really enjoy. And then finally, you all really enjoyed this back in Mental Health Awareness Month when we did a whole journaling, a week of journaling prompts. You really enjoyed when we worked through the prompts together live. So we are going to be doing that at the end. So good morning, Miss Bethany. And if you're here, sometimes Facebook tells me when you say hi, sometimes it doesn't, but I would love the chance to tell you hello back, so just let me know. If you have any questions, you can comment them, and then I will address them either at a moment during this program or at the very end. But I love questions, so bring them on. So before we get started in journaling, just a reminder that next week we'll be talking about how you can create a cozy, relaxing environment in your home, featuring an in-home spa night ideas. The third week, we're going to be talking about how to get your body moving, because moving your body is so important to stress management. And then the final and fourth Friday in September, we will be talking about how to make yourself a good meal. You need to nourish your body. You need to care for your body. You need to make yourself some good food. And trust me, I have a background in nutrition, and to me, roasted broccoli, or maybe roasted Brussels sprouts with some feta cheese, balsamic vinegar, that sounds like an incredible meal to me, but sometimes I like to eat an entire box of dairy-free, gluten-free macaroni as well. So I look forward to really talking about food in week 4. It's kind of my favorite. So this morning, first, we are going to talk about what do you need to start a journaling practice, and I'll give you a little bit of my personal background in journaling. Writing in words, I do love the library, are kind of my thing. They've been my thing since I was a little girl. I have journal entries from sporadically throughout elementary school, middle school, and high school. Not so much MySpace and Facebook happened at that time, so probably more internet journaling than physical journaling. And then in college, I picked the practice back up and journaled everything from about my day, how I was feeling, what I was going through, who was in my life, and it's so special. I have some of those. These are actually maybe from my early 20s, not so much, or mid-20s, not so much early college. But I really enjoy going back through these, seeing what I've learned, seeing what life has taught me, what I was doing on certain days. It's such a delight. So that is my background in journaling. I will tell you a little bit more about my journaling style when we get to different types of journaling. But let's talk about what you need to even start a journaling practice. So first, you're probably going to want to decide, are you more of an analog person, pen and paper, or are you more of a digital person? I believe that I am like 85 years old at heart, so I really enjoy a pen and paper practice. I really enjoy having a physical paper copy of a journal in front of me, and I really enjoy the way that a pen writes on the paper. I do have friends that are very tech savvy, very digital savvy, and they journal that way. They might do it in a notes section on their phone. They might have an iPad where they take a digital pen to digital paper and then save them that way. I even have friends who have this really neat journal that they can write on, and then it erases, and then a PDF uploads to their computer of what they've actually written. There are so many different ways, and it might take some time of just writing down, of just journaling, of just thinking about who you are, what makes you tick, what you love, and that will help you kind of hone in on your style of journaling. So I do have some of my personal different types of journals here, and I will show those to you. One of the things I've learned over the years, I do not enjoy a small journal. I will show you my tried and true journal after these few examples. And if you tuned in earlier in May, you know that I have stacks and just journals I haven't finished, journals that I've taken papers out of and I just keep because I didn't love the journal. It just takes a lot of practice. You're probably not going to get it right on the first try. It took me years to find my tried and true journal that I buy in multiple copies at a time now. So I found out I don't love a spiral bound journal. I do love the ability to turn a journal around and have one page at a time, but I don't enjoy the spiral bound. I find that they don't hold up very well for me. My journals are put through the ringer. They go with me everywhere, so the spiral bound doesn't quite work for me. It might work for you. That's what you have to decide. But I found that I don't love a spiral bound journal. Another type of journal might be, you might look for a pretty journal. I remember loving writing in this journal, and I don't usually finish every journal. I might leave a few papers in the back, but I almost finished this journal, as you can see, because I loved the look of it. It was so pretty. It's a little bit shiny. It just says really nice and pretty and simple journal here. It has a little bookmark ribbon, and it had shiny paper at the top. And that might sound silly, but it was beautiful. I felt so chic writing in it. I think I had this my senior year of college, and it was just a really special journal to me. So maybe it's one that's pretty. Maybe that is your kind of inspiration to keep writing. So you might find a pretty journal. Another type of journal I had, and a type that my husband enjoys, is a hard journal. This is a Moleskin, and when I started writing in Moleskins, you'll see that I finally landed on my perfect journal, which is a Moleskin, but it's not quite this one. What I didn't love about it, you can't bend it. It's only flat. Again, these are small details, but they really make a difference if you want to keep this simple, sustainable, and consistent in your life. So you might look for a hardbound journal. These are exceptionally well to stand the test of time. They're not going to get bent. They're not going to get as much, I spill coffee on mine sometimes. They're going to be a little bit more sturdy. So that might be a journal that interests you. And then the wild card. You may not be into recording things about your day or your emotions or processing things or memories, but you might really enjoy recording a hobby of yours. So here's a workout journal. If you've watched before, you know that my husband and I own a gym. Working out has been really important to us throughout our life. And my husband, while he doesn't have stacks of these types of journals, he has stacks of these types of journals. He has so many of workouts that he's recorded, meals that he's eaten, how he felt during his workout, maybe what was on his mind during his workout. So this is an entirely different type of journaling, an entirely different type of journal. It doesn't have to, again, this is all about you, all about customizing this to what you enjoy and what you love and what's going to fit best into your life. So now that I've shown you 4 different types of journals to get some inspiration about what materials you might need to gather, I want to show you my tried and true journal. This is a craft Moleskin. It is a little bit larger, as you can see. I told you I didn't really enjoy small journals, so as a size comparison, here is that white one I showed you first with the spiral bound. See how much larger this is? I just love these journals so much. They, as I said, they get carried with me everywhere, so they have frayed edges. This has a pocket in the back, and what I'll often do is I keep stamps or empty envelopes if I want to write to friends. I will keep, I think the one that I showed in May, I had a coffee sleeve from our favorite coffee shop at the beach because I had been journaling on the beach while drinking coffee, and that was just something special to me. So when I come back to revisit these journals, I can open to the back sleeve and maybe pull out some things that had some memories as well, and that's really special to me. The other thing is I also enjoy drawing, and you can draw on the covers of these journals. I haven't drawn anything on this one yet. I have drawn on them before. Sometimes I don't. Again, this is all customized to you. But you can buy these in a 3-pack. One of my favorite traditions is, again, Wrightsville Beach is a special place to me, and the Barnes & Noble there carries these, so I usually buy 1 to 2 packages when we visit, so that way they come in packages of 3, so that way I will have some on hand, and it's just, I could order them off the internet, but again, I like to buy things in stores because that's just who I am, and it makes it special that I got them there. So the other thing you're going to need if you are going to do a pen and paper style of journaling is a writing utensil. And I use my writing utensils. They're usually my everyday journaling utensil is not special. I don't love journaling in pencil just because the lead can be smudged or can easily be removed, but I enjoy lots of other things writing in pencil. I hope you know that Ticonderoga pencils are the best, but you might enjoy just a pencil and paper. And the other thing I usually keep is whatever pen I find. I've used some of our library pens here, which are, if you come, ask for a library pen. They are amazing. I have used, I think back in May, I had my Bic ballpoint pen that I had lost the lid on. It still wrote well. That's what I used. My husband and I love West Virginia State Park, so I got this pen at the Blair Hassett Hotel, and I write in cursive, and it writes really beautifully that way. So this is currently what I'm using, but I also have, which I don't have on me today, a really nice fountain pen. And I usually use the fountain pen if I'm going to write to a friend or do something a little more fancy. But a fountain pen might be what you want for your journaling practice. You might light a candle, pull out your journal, load your fountain pen, and go to town. Again, this is all customized to you. So if you have your journal and a piece of paper, or you might want to grab those because we are going to go through a prompt together after I tell you about some different types of journaling that maybe I've tried. Again, a friend or family member might love, someone has shared with me about, and I do have notes here, so if you see me look down, that's what I'm looking at. But I want you to have an idea of these different types of journaling, because if you're going to get into this as a hobby, a habit, something to care for yourself, again, you're going to need to customize it to you, but you might start with one of these and then evolve and shape and change the way that you journal. So I will share with you a couple things that I really use journaling for. So I told you that I started journaling started really focusing on a journaling habit when I was in college, and at that point it was more just time and date kind of thing. What I had done that morning, what classes I was taking, was I stressed out about a test, more just day-to-day journaling. And sometimes it was 2 pages full, sometimes it's a tiny paragraph, but those are just really day-to-day kind of journaling things. I have a friend who also works here at the library. She takes notes of one thing every day that makes her happy, and that's a journaling practice. So again, it doesn't have to be 3 pages of this beautiful just summary of your day. It might be not even a complete sentence. I will say a common question I get is, do I journal for other people to read? Not usually. If I'm going to evolve that into something I share, it's well edited after it is on the journaling page. This, you have to remember, unless you want to share, your journal is just for you, and you need to set that boundary with the people that you love. My husband knows he's not to read my journals, and we've been married for 7 years, and he has never cracked open one of my journals. The only time he knows what's in my journals is when I read them to him. So set that boundary. This is just for you. And that kind of leads me into the second type of journaling that I've really come to love, and that is therapy journaling. And this was introduced to me by a counselor in my mid-20s, and it's really kind of wild how well it works if you just need to get it all out. But another kind of more formal type that I have used is writing a letter to someone, a situation, a thing that is bothering you. So, dear blank. And then you write as if you were talking to that situation. So, for example, it might be someone who's hurt your feelings. For me, I was diagnosed with celiac disease almost 9 years ago, and I've written a letter to celiac disease. You might write a letter to just a situation or a group of people that maybe you're just really kind of going back and forth. Life brings difficulties in relationships, and maybe it's not something you want to share with that person, but you really need to process it yourself. So, dear blank, whatever that blank might be for you. And then you write that letter to them as if they were going to read it, but know that you don't need to share it. And a lot of times I I can't bring myself to do this because I just can't destroy things very well. But I have had friends in the past who will write a therapy journal, a therapy letter, and then as kind of a symbol of, okay, I feel better, I can move past this situation, they will either toss it into a fireplace, or maybe if you are safe enough, I again don't trust myself to do this, they will maybe take a little lighter to the letter and let it burn. Again, this is all for you. So therapy journaling really helps a person to sit and get it out without risking relationships, hurting someone's feelings. Typically, you're going to feel so much better after you write that you'll be few couple breaths and you'll feel much better, and don't feel the need to maybe have that conversation in person. Again, no one has to read these. Okay, this is yours. So another thing you might like to do is just a brain dump. So you might sit down, you might be feeling overwhelmed, you might have so many thoughts running through your mind, you can't get anything straight. Set a 15-minute timer and just brain dump. Just open up the paper, take your pen, and just let it all out. Don't worry about if it's categorized, organized, or makes sense to anyone other than you. Just get it out on the paper. Then, once the 15-minute timer stops, again, that deep breath, look at the brain dump, sort things out. What are you overwhelmed about? You may not even know until you do this brain dump. So if it's your emotions, if it's just lots of things there, maybe you can say, oh, I did not even realize I was stressed out about this until I wrote it 3 times in 15 minutes. And then you can create a strategy for what you're feeling overwhelmed about. Maybe it's a grocery list, and then you can look at that and say, oh, I clearly need to make a grocery list, and go to the grocery store. I'm trying to think, maybe it's a bunch of tasks at home, and then once you see it on paper, once you get it out of here, you're like, oh, this isn't so cluttered. It does make sense. I've noted 3 things I need to do in the living room today, and you can sort those in those 3 things and then tackle that. So that is a brain dump style of journaling. Another one that we have done together here, prompted style journaling. You can go to your local bookstore and you can probably find lots in the it's typically like in the gift section. You'll see a lot of pretty journals that you might want to pick up, and then maybe off to the right or to the left you might see some prompted journals, and those are going to give you ideas to journal about. Maybe if you enjoy creative writing, it's going to give you a prompt to use your imagination and journal in that way, write in that way. Or maybe it is what we're going to do together in a minute, and a prompted journal, just to kind of get your brain flowing, especially if you have that creative energy, you have that desire to journal, but you're just not really sure where to start yet. That's going to be a great starting point, is prompted journaling. Let's see what else I have on my notes that I do not miss anything. Perfect. So, some other ways that you might want to journal. Bullet journaling, we've actually heard a lot about it later. It did not work for me. I could not make it work for me. I tried so hard, but it did not work for me. But in order to get started in bullet journaling, it is kind of a process. There are so many YouTube tutorials out there on bullet journaling. You might have, if you are a spiritual person, you might have a prayer journal. If you are a hobby person, I saw Miss Bethany say this earlier, a book journal. So maybe you have a tiny journal with just all the books that you've read. There is a digital way to do that as well, which is Goodreads. Miss Bethany is amazing at Goodreads. She's taught me how to use it. I'm not very good at it, but a pen and paper might work better for me. But that could be a fun thing for you. My husband and I are getting ready to start a hiking journal. We realized that we go on these hikes and then we think we're going to remember these fun things, or that we saw this cool mushroom or this bird. And then 2 months go by and you're like, when did we do that trail? What did we see? What was it like when we were here the last time? So we are going to start a hiking journal and keep it in the glove box of our car, so that every time we finish an adventure, we can keep that logged for us to look back on in years to come. So a hobby type of journal. And really, the main thing here is that simple is sustainable. And if you've ever watched a program I've done before, heard me talk about anything, I believe in simplicity in life. And simplicity leaves room for the more beautiful things, for a time for you to enjoy those things. And simplicity also equals sustainability. So if you create this elaborate plan, I'm guilty of this myself, you create this elaborate plan for this journaling practice that every morning at 6:30 you're going to light a candle and have your coffee ready and grab your journal and just let it all out. 3 days in and your alarm doesn't go off and you don't journal, or you're out of coffee, or you're out of your favorite creamer, or maybe your pen ran out of ink and your journaling practice doesn't happen, just instinctually you're going to feel defeated. You're going to feel like, I knew I couldn't do this. So start small. Maybe the goal is just to get your pen and paper ready. And maybe the goal is to write down, again, that one line of something that brought you joy that day. Maybe it's 5 things that made you feel grateful at the end of every evening. Whatever it might be, make it simple, make it sustainable. Lay that foundation and then build on top of it. As you can see, I've been consistently journaling for almost a decade now. Actually, a decade now. And it has evolved and progressed and really become my own only in the last few years. So this is a practice, and practice means you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall out of the habit and the routine, and you're going to come back to it. So that is my biggest advice. If you're just getting started in this, or you're getting started back into a journaling practice, simple is sustainable, okay? And I believe in you. You can do it. So I'll give you a second. If you don't already have a piece of pen and paper, a piece of pen and pen, or another way to journal, you can go ahead and grab that now. If anybody has any questions, you can leave them down in the comments and I will answer those. And the beauty of watching this on a replay is you can just pause me, go grab your materials and come back. But we are going to work through 3 journaling prompts together. And these are going to be set up the same way that I did them back for Mental Health Awareness Week, and that is the prompt itself. We're going to dig a little deeper, which means if you just do the prompt yourself, that is perfectly fine. If you're ready to go maybe a step deeper, again, dig a little deeper. And then if you're really ready to go the extra mile, that is what the 3rd prompt is going to be. So again, if you have any questions, you can drop them down in here. I see lots of family watching this morning. My mom, my aunts, some friends. Good morning, good morning. It's so good to have you here. Thank you all for watching. And yes, so again, if you have any questions, drop them in and we will get started writing. So I have my journal here. And I have my pen, and I want to show you part of the reason we do these live is I might be able to give you some ideas for what you might want to journal about, and part of it is I want you to see how quick and easy this can be. So let's do the prompt itself. So the prompt itself is I want to start journaling consistently because, okay? So I want to start journaling consistently. And remember, whatever consistently is up to you. So maybe that's once a day, every other day, once a week. I want to start journaling consistently because. Okay, so I'll give you a moment to think about that. Why you might want to start journaling consistently. Why that might be good for you, why you might enjoy it, why you think that would help you during stressful times and just manage day-to-day life. And if you're having a little bit of trouble maybe getting those brain juices flowing, here are some ideas. You might want to start journaling consistently because you've always been interested in journaling. You've seen people journaling. You've heard about it. You're just really interested in it, but you've never really quite known where to start. which is exactly why I did this program today, is so that if you're interested, you could actually feel like you have a tangible way to start journaling. You might want to start journaling consistently because someone you know loves it. Maybe someone in your life has talked about journaling a lot and how that served them. And again, you're not quite sure where to start. That might be your reason why you want to start journaling consistently. Maybe it's because you're looking for a new hobby or a creative outlet. Journaling is going to be perfect for that. It can be a hobby that you can do alone with ones you love. It can be a hobby that you do in complete silence, or maybe you love to put on a fun playlist to journal. It might be something that you just do before the world starts. I love to journal before the sun even rises, and just the world is a little bit quieter during those hours. For the memories, you might journal for the memories. So again, you can look back on 4 or 5 years and see what you were doing that day. See what made you happy. You might forget the smallest details. One of my favorite journals is I journaled right before my wedding, and I wish I would have journaled even more about that day because I love to look back at it and see what was happening, who was there, little things I might have forgotten. So I hope that you've come to find a reason why you want to start a consistent journaling practice. If you haven't, again, take your time. We are going to continue working through the next 2 prompts that build upon this, but again, this will be up on replay, so you can come back to it, find the journaling prompts then, or if you're watching it on replay, you can just pause me and we can continue forward whenever you're ready. So the second part of our prompt, which is to dig a little deeper, is journaling would enhance my life by, so we can write journaling will enhance my life by, and again, I'll give you just a moment to think about that. How journaling might enhance your life. How is it going to bring joy to your life or make your life better? Because if you remember these things, this is going to help you when you fall out of your journaling practice, because it will happen. You can look back and say, why did I even want to do this in the first place? What was I looking for this journaling practice to bring to me? So how would it enhance your life? Would it help keep you focused, like we talked about in the brain dump, and Miss Bethany talked about, I saw in the comments. A brain dump can help you clarify your thoughts. So it can help you get all of this onto a piece of paper and become more focused, more organized. So could journaling help you feel more focused? Could it enhance your life by getting out what's up here onto a piece of paper and help you organize it in that way? Could journaling help you enhance your life by releasing emotions? Sometimes I feel really angry and I don't want to hurt anyone. So I journal my anger out and I process those emotions in that way, and 99.9% of the time, I would even probably say 100% of the time, I'm so thankful I went to my journal first, because after I process those emotions and get that just out, I'm not even really that upset anymore, and I'm so thankful I didn't take it out on someone I love, because if I had done that, I could risk hurting them and then have to repair that damage that I've done. So, could journaling enhance your life by helping you release your emotions? Could journaling help enhance your life by processing events, whether those are good or whether those are bad to you? Whether it's maybe a traumatic experience that you need to work through, and you're probably not going to get through that in one journaling session, that might be really enhanced, especially if you are, again, I learned about therapy journaling through counseling, so always seek a medical professional or professional counselor, therapist in that manner, in that regard. But that might enhance that counseling therapy that you're going through. That will help you process maybe more traumatic events. Maybe you want to process exciting events. So like I said, I journaled about my wedding day. I recorded details and time and date and people. But maybe that helped me process my wedding too, and just really soak in what was making me feel joyful, really pinpointing what made me happy about that day. So maybe journaling would enhance your life by helping you process events. or again, the memories, reminiscing in the future. So maybe 3 years down the road, you want to look back on September the 4th, 2020, and you can reminisce on the time here. We also will be a reminder of lessons learned. That is a fantastic way. It can enhance your life by looking back to see how far you've come. So I know when I go back to my college journals, I can tell how much more wisdom I have on this end of college and my 20s versus the beginning of them. That is a fantastic way to be reminded about how far you've come, how much wisdom you've gained, what lessons you've learned. So yes, those might be some ways that journaling can help enhance your life. And if you want to go the extra mile with me, this is where I love to include some sort of action step if applicable. So 3 things you might need to start journaling. So 3 things. So easy to just write this down. 3 things I need to start journaling are. Okay. And again, this is going to be so personal. Maybe you already have a piece of pen. I said that again, a piece of paper and pen. Maybe you're already ready material wise. So your 3 things might be, I need to establish a block of time to journal. Maybe it's, I need to decide, the first thing is I need to decide what type of journaling I want to focus on. Maybe it's you need to arrange for your children not to get up so early. I know that can be difficult, but there are mamas out there who have done it. And if you've talked to me, I think moms are superheroes. So I know it can be tricky, but maybe you need to make arrangements somehow for your children not to get up so early so that you can spend even just 15 minutes alone with your journal. Maybe it is you need to, again, just go out to purchase those materials. Maybe it is, I know a lot of people love a Target run, so maybe this is a great reason for you to mask up, head to Target, get in, bada bing, bada boom, and out. Maybe this is your reason to go and just grab a pretty pen and journal for you to start your journaling practice. And then my final words of wisdom here are never be afraid to switch it up. And these are just, again, we were talking about life lessons, things I've learned along the way, just not in journaling, but life in general, is never be afraid to switch things up. Never be afraid to try a new style of journaling. I would have never known that bullet journaling did not work for me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It did not work for me, but I would have never known had I not tried. I would have never known that I didn't care for a spiral-bound journal if I had never bought one. And nothing is a waste if it teaches you something. So never be afraid to pivot, never be afraid to change, never be afraid to try something new. You may try journaling and you may dislike it to the nines. Don't worry about it. You tried it, it's not for you. Maybe you try a different style. Maybe you grab your iPad instead of a notebook. Whatever it is, don't be afraid to play around with it and make it your own. So it's about time to wrap this up. I don't see any questions in the comments below, but again, Facebook doesn't always show them to me live, but if they are there, go ahead and comment them. If you think about it in a day from now, go ahead and comment, and I would be happy and glad to answer them. And we will be back next Friday, 10 a.m. for Feel Good Friday. I'm so excited to bring to you an in-home spa night / create a relaxing, cozy environment in your own home. Everything's affordable. Everything is going to be cost efficient. You choose what is feels best and most relaxing to you, but we are going to talk about that together next week. While I still wait on any questions, I want to remind you that this is the last month. September 30th is the last day to fill out your census and be counted. You being counted is so important. So don't forget to fill out your census. If you have any questions about your census, just give us a call. It takes 5 minutes to do it. So go ahead and make sure that you're going to be counted. Also, don't forget the library will be closed this upcoming Monday in celebration of Labor Day. And Labor Day means that story time will be following that. So our story times will start back next week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. I already know some of the themes that we have planned, and I'm so excited to get back to singing Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes and reading fun stories to the little ones. Or I never think you're too old to learn a lesson from a picture book or be read a picture book. So you can tune in even if you're not preschool or elementary school age. We would love to have you. So don't forget about those things. And then Feel Good Friday every Friday in September at 10 a.m. So thank you all so much for letting me share with you how much I love journaling and ways that you can start your very own practice. I have had a few patrons come in and tell me how much they enjoyed our journaling sessions back in the springtime and how that's helped them establish a practice. So if you end up loving journaling, please let me know. That means so very much. It means a lot when you learn and love the programs that we bring you here at the Putnam County Library. So it's great to see you virtually. It's great to see you inside the library, and I will see you again next week. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Bye.